Today marks 1649 day of daily lessons, daily reflections. And today I want to speak about emotions. When I was reflecting about emotions, I realized that you can be not emotional, but be able to be emotionally friendly. It's an interesting thing, emotional friendly. Because I think that a lot of times we are afraid of emotions, we can suppress it and we can avoid it. But I think that's not the healthy way to be. And so that today I will share seven things that we need to consider, not to be emotional, but be emotional friendly. And I think that true leader is sometimes says it's not emotional, but I think that sometimes true leader is emotionally friendly, not sometimes all the time. And I think that people who are aspire to be leaders sometimes they are emotional friendly. So today I'll share seven truths about what we need to consider about emotions whatsoever. So the real problem isn't emotion; it is unconsciousness. So what it means is that when we live our life, there will be moments when emotions will arise for one reason or for another. And that emotion, if you're not aware of it, might start taking control of your behavior. And that is not okay. The most important part is being able to start to understand and be aware what's going on inside, what kind of emotions is rising up, so you can really choose your behavior based on your consciousness and awareness rather on the emotion that is just rising up. Because a lot of times what we have is a trigger, we have a feeling, we have no understanding, maybe even some kind of story, and then we have reaction. So that means that we always need to have, including in that after feeling, we need to build that awareness and catch ourselves. But it never works on understanding your emotions. It's very hard to catch it. Because I allocated a whole month to really label emotion every single day. I really that's build me up, understanding my emotions better, and become more emotionally friendly. Number two, before going number two, so when we think about emotions. We need to really catch before that emotion becomes who we are. That's the most important part. Number two, emotions don't control you. Your attachment to them does. And this is very powerful. Understanding that we say that we make decisions based on emotions, and that's or we rationalize it. But knowing that we need to be able to really look at those emotions and not attach to those emotions. Because sometimes we can really start to really own the emotion that this is how I think, this is how I feel, this is how I do things. And I think that's just beautiful thing when you say, like, I don't like this the way how I do it. I don't like when I trigger that I lash out. If I don't like it, that means I'm able to change. I'm able to truly be better because of it. And I think that's we need to, if you want to remove that attachment, you understand that this emotion not who I am. This is just my behavior that I learn over time. And I'm if I this is a behavior, learned behavior that's be able to change it. Number three, most emotions are amplified by story you add. Most emotions are amplified by the stories you add. This is extremely important because I found myself sometimes as well adding stories. So when something happened, like even some kind of disrespect, someone disrespect you, or maybe even not disrespect you, but even like a small thing as driving a car. And might be that someone cut you off. People tell stories like, "Oh, this person doesn't respect me. This person don't care about any other people." And I think that we need to realize that those stories doesn't help, and we need to remove those stories out of our story, out of our life. I think that is sometimes catching ourselves like this is a story and I have no idea what happened, and now I'm trying to really fill the gap with stories of my own creation, and the stories of my own creation create emotions, add emotions, and that is not good because sometimes even of the story creates separate feeling, and that's often from interpretation, and that of course adds up. Number four, you don't need to express every emotion to be honest. You don't need to express every emotion, to be honest. And it's an interesting thing that some emotions needs to be expressed. Like if someone really actually disrespects you and you feel disrespected, of course you need to express that. Some emotions needs to be processed. So it means that if you feel some kind of jealousy or envy, where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? Because a lot of times jealousy is coming from the things that you actually desire, but you don't work on it. So the meaning that there's some emotions expressed, some emotions needs to be processed, and some emotions could be completely ignored. Like some kind of anger that is created based on the story, and we need to ignore them. And not all emotions need to be expressed. Number five, emotional control is built in the body, not just mind. It's interesting because when we are the high stakes or we going through some kind of emotions, those emotions are a lot of times inside of the body, not just mind. And being able to really look into how to control that emotion within the body, with the body, that's what's beautiful. And one of the best things that I really found that is extremely helpful is being able to really breathe differently. Our body realize that okay, this is it's not that serious. If this person is breathing calmly, that means that maybe it's not as dangerous or as emotional as I thought. And being able to bring down the core, bring down to the foundation is extremely important. Number six, you can feel something fully without acting on it. You can act fully without acting on it. And it's a beautiful thing. You can fully feel it without really doing anything about it immediately. The most part of immediately, sometimes maybe you'll need to do something about it, but not immediately. Allow yourself to really, at least a little bit, to be aware, to be conscious, to build that that pause in your life that brings ability to really choose. Because if you act on the emotion, that will be reaction, and reactions create mistakes. But you respond to that emotion, but after the pause, after awareness, after consciousness, that's most likely lead to some certain, even maybe in mistake, but now you know exactly what kind of thinking process, what kind of thought process you had before taking action, and next time you will think differently, so you're able to fix things. And last one, number seven, is the ultimate shift from reactor to observer to chooser. So that means that in the past, stage one was emotion equals action, no awareness whatsoever. No whatsoever. Number two, when you become observer, when you start to observe your emotions, is that I notice I'm angry, but I'm still tempted. I'm still aware. I maybe even lash out. And then the third is chooser. I feel anger, and I decide what happens next. And I decide what happened next with that anger, where I allocate it, where I release that to another person, to myself, or to sports, going for a hike, or being able to choose how you actually release your emotion. Because the most important part is not suppress it. You choose where to release it. Because I think there's a lot of beautiful places to release it. So in truth, and the final idea is that don't let emotions define your reality. And of course, at the same time, you don't want to reject them. And then, of course, stand in between and choose better options. So I hope you just win and see you tomorrow.